Welcome back everyone to Kareem in My English. Today, I wanted to take a look at some modal verbs, specifically modal verbs of obligation. But before we get to those modal verbs, I have a question. What is obligation? What does that mean? An obligation. An obligation is a duty, something you must do. As we're all adults, I think we have an obligation to work, earn money, and pay our bills. That's how we have to live. When we're children, we are obligated to go to school, get an education. These are things that we must or have to do. We have 4 modal verbs that we use for obligation. Have to, need to, must, and should. But what's the difference? Well, today we're going to learn what the difference is. So, a lot of them are very similar in a way, but there are also small differences between them, especially when we get to the negatives. Have to, need to, must. This means something is necessary. It is obligatory, meaning it's very important to do. It's like going to school or going to work. You have to do this if you want a good job, if you want to earn money. We have some examples. I have to work every day. Of course you have to work every day. You need that money. You want to pay for your light. You want to pay for your phone. You need the money. How do you get it? By working. You have to do this. I need to use the bathroom. A very common phrase we all say. It's a bodily action. It's unstoppable. When it happens, it happens. And when you need to go, you need to go. Nothing you can do. So you need to use the bathroom. Must is in red. Why though? Well, must is a special modal verb, I guess. By this I mean it's like very official, very formal, and not used as commonly as I have to, I need to. These strictly represent the necessity, the desire, the obligation. I would often hear my students say, I must use the bathroom. And it sounds so weird, honestly, from a native perspective, because we say have to or need to. Must is just too official in this sense, maybe too internal as well. Let's look at some negatives. Don't need to and don't have to. What does this mean? Well, actually, it's the opposite of have to and need to. It means that something is not necessary. Something is not obligatory. So it's not very important for you to do. In fact, don't do it because there's no need. As an example, she doesn't need to wake up early. So maybe tomorrow is Saturday. She has no plans. She's not working. So there's no real need for her to wake up early. So she doesn't need to wake up early. We don't have to go if you don't want to. Well, maybe I think, if we're talking about a movie, that I think the movie genre is boring. It's not something for me. Well, if I don't like it, there is no real need for me to go. Whatever. You guys go. I don't want to go. It's not necessary. Now you might be thinking, what about must? Well, that's in its own category. Must not or mustn't. And this is in its own category because it's incredibly strong. When we use mustn't, this indicates something is prohibited. Something is forbidden. You cannot do this. Maybe it's illegal. Maybe it's against the rules. Or maybe it's just something very, very bad. Let's look at 2 examples. You mustn't drive too fast. Maybe this area is a suburban area, a neighborhood that has many children that play in the street. Of course, you should not drive fast. It's very bad. You can hurt someone, so you mustn't do this. Drive slowly. They mustn't tell anyone. It's a surprise. Imagine It's your mother's 70th birthday. You invite all your family. She doesn't know. This is very important. Shh, shut up. Don't tell anyone. You mustn't do this. It is incredibly important that you don't do this. If you do it, what will happen? Your mother won't be surprised. It won't be as amazing as you wanted it to be. So keep your mouth shut. You mustn't tell. We add should and shouldn't. These are also different, mainly because they're not as strong as these. When we use should and shouldn't, this means basically my opinion. What I am suggesting you do or you don't do. It's like giving you a good idea or a bad idea. Let's see an example. You should see a doctor if you're ill. Oh, my stomach hurts. My back hurts. Oh, my head hurts. Oh, you should see a doctor. But I don't want to. I'm scared of the doctor. Okay, don't see the doctor. See, with should, you're saying that you can do this, but you don't have to. So if you do it, great. If you don't do it, great. It doesn't matter. It's just my, opinion, my recommendation to you. You shouldn't go for a walk. It's too cold out. Oh my gosh. Imagine it's minus 40 degrees outside. And you're crazy enough to go outside for a walk. Maybe your mother, your brother, your wife, your husband tells you you shouldn't go outside. It's freezing. It's so cold. And you think, well, I need my exercise, so I'm going to do it anyway. They gave you the recommendation. They told you, in a way, it's a bad idea. But you do it. It's fine. If you don't listen to them, okay. All right, so let's just quickly review one more time. Have to, need to, must. Something is necessary, obligatory, very, very important that you do it. Don't have to, don't need to. It's not necessary. If you don't want to go, don't go. If you don't want to practice your English, don't practice your English. You don't have to do it. No one's forcing you. Mustn't. Something is prohibited, forbidden, illegal. Don't do this. There might be some bad consequence after. Should, shouldn't. Do it if you want. Okay. Don't do it. But if you do, okay. It's just my recommendation. So, our next activity. I'm going to put sentences right here, and I want you to pause the video. Read each sentence and decide what would be the best modal verb of obligation to use. Now, there will be more than one right answer. It all depends on what you want to say and how you want to say it. Now, that's not true for all of them, but for a majority, there can be more than one. So, here are the sentences. Please pause the video, and then when you're ready, unpause it, and we'll do it together. Okay, so let's look at number 1. Joe, study for his exam. Here you can put multiple ones. Joe has to, Joe needs to, Joe should. Usually it's an exam, you probably should study, it's important. But what's the difference? Well, if you say Joe has to, needs to, imagine this is his exam to get into medical school. So this is very important, and he needs to do this if he wants to become a doctor. You can say should, for example, maybe this is just a driving test. He doesn't really need to practice so much. If he doesn't pass, then he'll try again next week. So he should study, or in this case, practice for the exam. The train leaves soon. We, hurry. Again, we can put multiple answers here. So, let's imagine the train leaves soon. We have just 5 minutes. Oh my God. We have to run. We have to be quick. We have to hurry. We need to hurry. We must hurry. It's very important. The train will leave without us. We can say should as well. The train leaves soon. We should hurry. We got 20 minutes. I mean, yeah, it's going to leave soon, but we have time to grab a coffee, sit down, maybe unwind. So, again, you're showing that it's a little less important. You drink and drive. Oh, drinking and driving. If you know, in English, when you say drink, it means alcohol. Beer, wine, liquor, the sort. So, drink and drive. This is something serious. And of course you want to make a negative sentence. So, you mustn't drink and drive. 1, it's illegal. 2, you can seriously hurt yourself or someone else. It's very, very dangerous. So you mustn't do this. You mustn't drink and drive. You watch the show if it's boring. The new show's on, everyone's watching it, everyone loves it, except you. You think it's boring. So, you don't like it. If you don't watch it, is that a problem? No. Do you need to watch it? No, of course not. So, you don't have to watch the show if it's boring. If you don't like it, don't do it. It's not going to affect you. It's not going to affect everyone else. So, don't watch it. Could you say should? I mean, yeah, you can. You shouldn't watch the show if it's boring. I mean, here it's just my recommendation. If you continue watching it, awesome. You, try the pie. It's delicious. Here again, we can have multiple answers. Imagine, this is the best pie in the world. Oh my God, you've never had anything better. You have to, you need to, you must. Oh my God, the pie is so good. You cannot buy this quality pie anywhere else. And you're only here today. You must try it. You have to try it. You need to try it. I know I would. So, yeah, if we want to make it very important, stress the seriousness or just emphasize that it's delicious, have to, need to, must. Should, shouldn't, of course you can use that. You should try the pie. Maybe you want a dessert, you don't know what to get. You should try the pie. Maybe it's good. It was good to me, maybe not good to you. Who knows? But you should. If you don't buy the pie and you buy a cookie, okay, not a problem. And finally, it's late. I go home. It's late. I should go home. Now, again, like with every other sentence, there are multiple answers. But I think should, in my honest opinion, is probably the most common way to say, like, go home. I should go. When you say I have to go, maybe, who knows, something serious happened, or you have to work in the morning. But, like, I should go, it seems kind of, in a way, polite to the host. Like, I don't want to waste any more of your time, or I've stayed here too long, thank you so much, I should go. I really appreciate you hosting me. Everyone, great work. I do hope you enjoyed this lesson about modal verbs of obligation. I hope you learned something, and if you already knew this, I hope this was a good review for you. Now, if you did enjoy this video and you did learn something, I would really appreciate a like, and if you want more English content, a follow would also be wonderful. You can find me here, of course. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok at the same name. So, everyone, thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one.